Back at you with another lesson. First of all, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, that belongs to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach in all truth and sincerity. I wanted to go into Daniel 2 um, and give a breakdown of Daniel 2. I'm going to start at 31. Thou, O king, sawest and behold a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, which is Babylon the Great, which is Babylon, ancient Babylon. Excuse me, Salakia, which is Babylon, the ancient Babylonian Empire. His breast of arms of silver, which is the Medo-Persian Empire. His belly and his thighs of brass, which is Greece, the Greek Empire. His legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay, which is the revival of Rome, which is America, comprised of the EU and NATO nations. Thou sawest till that stone was cut out without hands, and that stone is Yahushai, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image, Yahushai is that stone that smote the image, became a great mountain, and that mountain represents the kingdom, the Heavenly Father's kingdom. That the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that He's going to set up on the earth. And give to the elect of Israel, and fill the whole earth. This is a dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, king, art the King of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven hath he given into thy hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. So, the ancient Babylon is that head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. So after the Babylonian Empire, you had the Medo-Persian Empire. Darius and Cyrus, the Great. And another third kingdom of brass, which is the Greek Empire, and Alexander the Great was he was basically a king. He was Alexander the Great ruled that kingdom, and after him he had 4 generals. And after Alexander the Great died, because he died very young, after him 4 generals branched out from him, and they continued the empire, and it was a vast empire still. We shall bear rule over all the earth, and the 4th kingdom shall be strong as iron, which is talking about the Roman Empire, the ancient pagan Roman Empire, the Roman Empire. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdue all things, And as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise, because the Roman Empire was, um, they was known for their iron weapons. Um, there was no other kingdom that could defeat the Roman Empire because of their iron weapons. They were very strong militarily, but iron is an inferior metal. And when they went to war with these other countries, I won't say countries, but like these surrounding client uh, kingdoms that was kind of branched off from them, they destroyed a lot of these other client kingdoms. And as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. So that's talking about America, the revival of Rome shall be divided. But there should be in it the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And that's talking about America, comprised of the EU and NATO nations. The beast that's spoken of in Revelations, the 13th chapter. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. So these, it's still talking about America, but you have the EU and NATO nations, and they're going to be divided. The EU and the NATO nations are not going to be united. America is a part of NATO, but America spearheads pretty much these other nations. They control these other nations through foreign policy, democracy, and stuff like that. As the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So the EU and the NATO nations are not going to cleave one to another. They're going to be they're not going to remain united in these last days because this is prophecy. But like I said, the beast is America, which is the revival of Rome. Even as iron is not mixed with clay. So NATO, the EU and the NATO are not going to they're not going to stay united because it's prophecy, because of World War III. And in the days of these kings shall the Heavenly Father, Yahweh of heaven, set up a kingdom. So the Heavenly Father is going to set up his kingdom on the earth. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. We shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom should not be left to other people, meaning the heathen nations. Meaning the heathen nations. So the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, is going to set up a kingdom that's only going to be for the Israelites. But the Heavenly Father is giving the kingdom to Yahushua, and the elect, 144,000, and the elect. But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So all these kingdoms is basically talking about all the way up until now. You know, the Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, and then Rome was revived through the Renaissance period, which America became that beast. So America was revived through the Roman Empire, through the Renaissance, and became that beast in Revelation 13, that great whore, the whore that sit upon many waters, and it shall stand forever. So we are in that time. We're in that time where the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai is getting ready to set up his kingdom. The Heavenly Father getting ready to set up his kingdom on the earth and give it to the elect of Israel. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God Yahweh, the great God, the Heavenly Father Yahweh, hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. So that's all I have. That's all I have for you today. Next time I say shalom.